Where have you been? It's almost morning and you've cut like this entire room to do, so it's time to get going. Get going. You know, do that spinning thing that you do, make me some gold. Get me out of here. I'm gonna get shot behind the garbage shed in an hour, so... Oh, right, I forgot. I have to give you something. I forgot. I don't have anything. Wait, okay. If I don't die, I'm queen, right? So if I'm queen, I'll give you whatever you want. I'll give you so many necklaces and rings, they'll choke you. No, then. You know, if I'm dead, you won't get anything at all. And I'd rather not be dead, so. What, you want me? 'Cause you can have me.
I am uninterested.
Oh, I'm sorry. Am I too pure for you? Because the king doesn't seem to mind.
He'll pay you well for it.
Yeah, he'll pay my father well for it, you self-righteous prick, not me. Okay. Anything you want. Anything. It's just, I cannot die like this.
I want your firstborn child after you are made queen.
What?
The firstborn child of the king.
No. No, that's horrible, no. What? Why? Why that?
It is what I want.
Yeah. But what would you want with my kid?
There's only one way to explain adequately. It must be in the form of a story.
You're kidding. Or not, okay. Let's hear it.
Thank you for your indulgence. Once upon a time, in a time not long from now, there lived a man with a gift. It was not, as many people would suppose, that he had the ability to spin straw into gold, although he could do that as well. His gift was his beautiful wife, his laughing child. They did not starve, but what they lived on was a pittance compared to the wealth and power the man might have if he chose to put his ability on display.
Yeah, well, why didn't you?
Why didn't I what?
Spin yourself rooms full of gold, build your own castle, call it a day.
The man was frightened. He could have been made a slave for his...
a
You suspend your judgment until the tale is told! And then the plague came. The scourge of an army seethed over the hills of the man's village. The soldiers sought their own spoils in rape and murder. The king used these men to destroy the villages that he wished to conquer. They called him the Reaper in the towns and in the fields, for he leveled both with his lust and his army. The king came to the edge of the man's village. He demanded that the soldiers pay reparation to his army or he would slaughter them all. Having no money, the man spun his gold and gave it to this king. And the king recognized what it was and what it meant for him.
You spun the gold.
That means nothing.
No, it means this might be true.
You confuse the issue. You want to know if this tale is fact, not truth, but the facts are insignificant, mere trivialities. For what you consider to be fact does not always represent what is true. Fact may be eternal, yes, but truth is diffuse, varied, ever-changing, contingent on those who tell it and those who listen. Are you too ignorant to understand this? May I continue? The king dragged the man to a castle and demanded that he spin a room full of straw into gold. But the man refused. Who could give allegiance to a reaper of death? Let the king kill him. The next morning, the king's men came in with a great scythe and sheared the limbs off of the man's wife and children while the man watched. He waited for his own death, begged, pleaded, and threatened for it. But the king would not waste such a precious commodity, and so left the man in the room with the bones of his little ones rotting under the piles of hay.
So the king, he killed your kids?
You place too much on a simple fairy tale.
No. The man who wants to marry me, he killed your children in front of you.
He also threatened to shoot you behind the garbage chute.
Yeah, but to kill a kid with a knife?
A scythe.
I'm gonna have to marry that.
Some might think death is preferable.
Would you?
As you see, I am still living.
Yeah, but the king didn't try to kill you.
As if that could have prevented me if I had wanted it. I could have spun myself anew, stabbed myself with a spindle, starved myself to death.
And you're still here.
Take that as you will.
I want to live.
Then it is done.
What?
I will get your firstborn child after you are made queen.
No, I never said that.
You said you wanted to live.
What would you do with it? You just want revenge, don't you?
Yes.
You want to kill my child because the king killed yours?
The choice is a simple one.
For you, maybe. The man who was too stupid to make a deal with the king, so he let his family die for him. You know, I could call you foul and evil and twisted, but that doesn't even begin to sum up what you are, does it? What kind of a person would ask someone to make that choice at all?
I did nothing.
Exactly. No, you did nothing. You watched while your family's limbs slid to the ground while their heads just rolled across the floor, and you did nothing to stop it.
That may be the truth, but only as you see it.
But you can shove the truth up your ass because you're not getting my kid. No, not if you're gonna kill it.
Then you will die.
Wait. You know you're the only person who's ever helped me? The only one? And if it was for a stupid ring. I mean, who knows if I'll even have kids anyway? And even if I did, what kind of life would they have? If I had a son with this king, he'd grow up and probably have to murder people to keep his country intact, and if he survived that, he'd probably be assassinated or something. If I had a daughter, it'd be worse. That's what I'm looking at. For the rest of my life.
If you live past today.
Yeah, well, I never cared much about what would happen tomorrow. So.
You keep me waiting. Frey. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
No, you killed my family today.
Yes.
You know, we fought. At the ball, we fought. Because of you.
I didn't know.
And then, I didn't see him after. And then, you killed him. I loved him. Maybe more than you for longer anyway, and I don't know if you were worth the treat, because I don't know you, not really.
I'm sorry.
That isn't adequate!
Oh, I can't say anything, but it doesn't matter because you didn't see it! You weren't there! Mercutio, he was brilliant and clever and brittle and quick, always with one eye on the making of his own corpse and the other swearing to live forever, laughing all the while. He raised life to the ground and cartwheeled over the ashes. And then he was just a steaming, gutted piece of meat twitching in the dirt. I lied. When I said I was sorry, I'm not.
What?
It was justice.
It was murder.
Tybalt was a dead man anyway. He broke the prince's peace.
Wasn't one death enough for you?
After Mercutio? No, he deserved to die.
How do you expect me to forgive you for this?
I can't. You see, I can't. That's why.
You selfish coward!
It hasn't been consummated.
No, you are my husband.
Not yet.
And the vows of the church were what exactly?
I'm not your husband yet. It hasn't been consummated. This disaster could be...
Juliet,
I executed your cousin in the street! I've been banished.
No, that's no reason to throw away.
I'll never see Verona again.
You will never see me again. Is that what you want?
No, but if I'm here tomorrow at dawn...
God, me, Tybalt, is there anyone else that you feel like running through
You'll
or
kill me.
chewing up for one day? God! He was right! He was right! And now he's dead! And I'm left here with you!
Oh, of course he's right. You're a Capulet. You always have to be right, and you don't care how many people have to die to prove it. Oh, you're all a bunch of backstabbing, lying bastards. What pathetic idiot would want to marry into this? Oh God, Julia, that's not...
What else could you mean by that?
How can we be married when our family's calling for our blood?
Do you love me at all?
If you saw how I waited today. Begged the sun to speed across the sky. My fingers. I hadn't left you more than a minute after the church, and I felt hollow, empty. As if the place where your hand held mine had left a void instead of air. You couldn't ask me that question if you knew how I waited today.
So we'll run. Together. Now.
You can't come.
Can you even feed yourself?
What?
Go to the market. Buy food for the day. Prepare it.
Why does that even matter? I have servants.
Yeah, no servants. Do you know how to hire them? The references to look for? How to manage the household accounts?
No. Of course not. I mean, that's never been... That's...
It's a woman's job. All your fancy education, and you can't survive without me, not even for one day. I doubt you could even lace your own shoes.
So we'll hide.
Yeah, hide. For how long? Without money or connections or family?
It's just... I don't know ever if I'll get to see you. It'll be
Waiting.
forever.
This afternoon's ours.
Contorted, stretched,
Limitless,
a great gaping hole of time.
lightless, starless, airless,
Confined,
in endless space.
holding breath,
Always wondering,
unable to exhale.
the never-ending patterns
Trying to pass time.
with a stopped clock.
I could wait.
Could you? Could you really? After today?
For... Well, could you?
If it were your corpse I grieved over, I would know what to do.
And life, then and there.
If I couldn't have you here, I'd have you in the hereafter.
Just one action.
Simple.
Tipping a vial.
a slash, and then
You.
infinite. It hasn't been consummated.
What?
That's what you meant, isn't it?
I don't know what I meant.
Banishment doesn't have to be this. This endless stretch of nothing. Doesn't have to be that for you.
Well, I want.
No, it hasn't been consummated. You could have a new family, new friends, a different girl. Just, you'd fall in love with her. Just like me. Just like Rosaline. Wouldn't be so hard for you, would it? To find someone who wasn't hated by your family or who would give you whatever you wanted without asking for marriage first. That's what you want, isn't it? That's what you want to end it now.
No, that's not.
It's an old story.
That's not it. That's not what I want.
Why? Because it's not us. It's not us.
Well, what about you? You always have Paris. Steady Paris with his title and his family and sensible. Well, he's just sensible, and all he does is wait for you, right? And look for you. He's always there, isn't he? Wanting you. He can't, like I do. He can't.
I could be happy.
So could I.
Just wouldn't be us.
Just an ordinary husband, wife.
Our parents.
Nothing earth-shattering.
This, what we have,
It'll go.
if we let it. Just happy.
Enough.
Happy enough. So, is that it then? Is that all?
Yes. It is.
It's just,
What?
I want you still. you, my liege.
I know. I know.
They have been waiting for quite some time.
I'm aware. Thank you.
8 years since your father died.
Then they've had plenty of experience.
8 years without one single move against the English occupation.
Well, you straightened that right out for me, didn't you?
And then they waited while you wandered, up and down the Loire Valley instead of going to Paris to be crowned.
I am the Dauphin of France! Let them wait.
I am merely trying to suggest, sire, that they have other options if you force them to wait much longer.
Then let them go to their other options. My God, why won't you leave me alone?
Because that is not God's will.
I wish you would stop saying things like that. And stop staring!
Yes, sire.
That's all you do, you know. It's unnatural. I wouldn't be surprised if that's why the English were defeated at Orleans. You stared them down until they surrendered their weapons and rode hell for leather across the channel.
It was somewhat more complicated than that, my liege.
You know, I will never understand you. I don't think God himself could understand you.
So he frequently tells me, sire.
A joke!
No.
No. Do you ever feel anything at all?
Feeling is not a requirement of my position, sire.
No. But it would be nice to see a hint of humanity, maybe some sort of recognition that I am a person, not a crown.
If you're finished, sire, the court waits for you.
Why do you ask this of me? I have given you everything, you know. Everything that you have ever asked me for. Soldiers, weapons, power no woman could ever possibly dream of, more power than a queen. And yet still you torment me for more.
I've repaid you for it. I've given you a crown.
I never wanted one. You were the one who demanded that I become something other than what I am. I had 4 elder brothers. I was never meant for this.
You are a prince. What else are you meant for?
Not this. Not a life of blood and death and battle.
Blood and death are how we live. There's no escaping that.
You are a child. The only death that you have seen has been honorable. War is hell. But it is nothing. Nothing compared to what wages in the court. You've never had to worry if your uncle would murder you as a child? If your mother's lover would poison your father? If your father would wake up sane that day? If the peasants would revolt because there is nothing in your power that you can do when they starve to death, except look away, while the courtiers laugh behind their hands.
You don't have a choice.
I could have one. I could let Burgundy and Henry bicker over the north. I live in the Loire. I'm happy here. Prince of the realm, yes, but only a name. And no one has ever been murdered because I want to gain an extra half-acre of land.
Is that really all that you want?
Yes, it is.
Living here. With your lapdogs. While your courtiers protect you and your wife just looks the other way. You've been born to this role. There is no one else in the fate of your country rests with you.
Then let it rest with someone else.
There is no one else! If the crown goes to Burgundy, he'll live for what? 5 years? 10 years. After 100 years of bloodshed, and we'll be back to war again, and you will be the heir again. And all the people who have died in your cause will have died for nothing.
Give the country to England. The treaty granted France
You have a 6-year-old with a regent! Your people will suffer, and you will suffer if you cannot take the crown! France will die as we know it. It will not rise again. You know what a court can be. But you are different, my liege. You are better. It does not have to be the court or even the country of your childhood. And I believe, and God believes, that you can be the saving of our nation, but first you have to have the courage to wear the crown. Please. Please. You are the king.
I am nothing of the kind!
God, I was born in your place. I wouldn't waste my time whining and sniveling like a frightened chicken.
I wouldn't know about that. I wasn't raised in a barnyard.
Yes, so what if I was? At least I wasn't given the privileges, wealth, and nobility only to watch them rot. I have worked for everything that I've been given, and I am forced to play nursemaid to a man who's too weak to take his own kingdom even when it is handed to him on a platter, stuffed and gilded.
Is that why you came to me?
What?
Is that why you came to me? Not to Burgundy? Or to Henry? You came to the weak king, as you call me, because you knew that a weak king would be the only person desperate enough to give you power.
God gives me power, not you.
But it is power, isn't it? Power over men? Power to topple kingdoms? Power that a farm girl shouldn't have dreamed of, and yet you did.
I never asked for it. Just as you never asked to be king, but you don't hear me complaining. Because I've learned one thing in all my dealings with saints. Do not contend with the will of God. You will lose.
Saints again. And there's always saints with you whenever you're trying to shore up an argument in the will of God and God's word. But is it the will of God or the will of Joan that I will lose to?
What are you talking about?
Who commands you, really? Is it the voices of saints? Or is it the voice of an unnatural intelligence sequestered in a female form?
Do you realize what you accuse me of?
I do. And it makes me wonder. All those miracles you performed, how miraculous were they, really? The visions of the battles that the generals tried to keep you out of, how hard is it to befriend the general's servants with your reputation for piety and discover when the battles were occurring? How difficult is it to realize that a siege can be broken if you can persuade enough brainless men to scale the castle walls? Oh, and if there's one thing you're good at, Joan, it's persuasion.
You have no proof for any of this.
Just because I don't doesn't mean I can't easily buy it.
But you will not.
You will stop me. I don't want to be king. If I exposed you now, your entire precious regime would crumble. I could go back to living in peace.
You wouldn't. Your reputation's hanging by a thread. Mine's the only thing keeping it there.
If it meant I could give up this insanity, I would try anything.
Not when your own father declared you a bastard.
Of course, you had to bring it to this.
I confess, it never occurred to me to be true until now.
My father was insane when he questioned my legitimacy.
But your mother wasn't when she agreed.
Fine! Declare me a bastard! I am unfit to rule! Lead me to my lapdogs! Find somebody else to harass!
How long do you think you'll live in comfort if you're the bastard son of a philandering queen? Your wife will divorce you. The precious courtiers that you counted on to protect you will desert you, and you will be left out into the world, a weak, shivering, white grub without skin, tough enough to bear the exposure.
Who would believe a half-mad girl talking to the air? I was ratified by the
What if I was? At least I wasn't given the privileges of wealth and nobility only to watch them rot. If I am a fraud, then you are the floundering, illegitimate son who believed her. A peasant farm girl that you put in front of an army! Make me a fraud or make me a saint, but remember, I am the only thing that is keeping your ass on a cushioned chair.
If you make me do this, I won't ever forgive you.
Your forgiveness is not something that I require.
I don't think you understand. I will laugh on the day that you are in prison. I will honor the men who rape you,
If you hang, I will consecrate the noose. If you burn, I will dance on your ashes.
Pick up your crown. My king.
My subject.